Yeah, I did change, and I'm really glad I changed.
This one's wife. Catherine trumps Meghan again. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. I've explained separately how this one's wife has an obsession in relation to the Prince and Princess of Wales. It's driven by her narcissism, where essentially she believes that the life that Catherine leads ought to belong to her. This is problematic for her, for whenever Catherine receives positive publicity, this really gets to this one's wife. Whenever Catherine is praised for her fashion sense, that she is admired for how beautiful and elegant she looks, this really irritates this one's wife, who invariably looks like she got dressed in the dark. Whenever Catherine is reported on doing good things in terms of charity, interacting with children, being seen, doing sporty things, this all gets to this one's wife, because she believes that she should be the one receiving that praise and not Catherine. Catherine is the nemesis. And thus, all of this positive portrayal of Catherine results in this one's wife being wounded. And such is her focus on Catherine. This means that she repeatedly watches for what Catherine and members of her family are up to, resulting, as I've explained previously, in the obsessive behaviour of this one's wife as she seeks to draw attention back onto her, either through copying or upstaging behaviour. Nevertheless, try as she might, this one's wife fails. She fails because her piss-poor attempts at upstaging Catherine are so transparent as a consequence of the exposure that this one's wife has and the incisive commentary provided by your glorious narrator. Furthermore, what she attempts, she invariably fails at because she's haphazard, cack-handed, and always operating in the moment. And we have another example of that in respect of how Catherine has trumped her once again. Cast your minds back to October-November 2021. Yes, nearly 4 years ago. And at the end of October, this one's wife wrote to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer advocating for paid family leave. And she wrote a letter that was handed out to a number of media outlets. You'll recall seeing the content of the letter, which is not particularly well written. It contains much talking about herself, personal anecdotes. You remember, I grew up on the $4.99 salad bar at Sizzler. It may have cost less back then. To be honest, I can't remember. But what I do remember was the feeling. I knew how hard my parents worked to afford this, because even at $5, eating out was something special, and I felt lucky. It explained about her being a girl guide also, naturally the necessity of bringing up something that she had done in the past. It talked about her working at the local frozen yogurt shop, and then the inevitable as a parent commentary also. It was a ridiculous letter, and it was a clear attempt in order to enter the political arena with regard to the issue of parental leave. At the time, she faced considerable criticism for interfering in US politics, but it demonstrated once again, as driven by her narcissism, that this one's wife found a theme, found a cause, which her narcissism caused her to latch onto, resulting in her engaging in the lack of boundary activity of writing to the House Speaker and the Senate Majority Leader. Furthermore, that she had lobbied senators, that she had telephoned, cold called Kirsten Gillibrand, the senator for New York, and to speak with Republican Senator Susan Collins from Maine and Shelley Moore, Capito from West Virginia. She had been badgering them about the issue of parental leave. And this one's wife talked about how she was going to have lunch with the senators, that she was going to attend a bipartisan meeting, that she was going to march on Washington with Gloria Steinem. What happened? Let me check. The square root of fuck all. Once again, this one's wife's narcissism operated to cause her to create a buzz in the moment, to assert control, to draw fuel, to manage her facade, and therefore, afterwards, the narcissism thought, well, there's no need to do anything else. It served its purpose, demonstrating the hollow nature of this one's wife, whereby she doesn't care about parental leave, she just cares about making herself look good. She doesn't give a fig about the issue of parental leave and helping those parents. She just wants to crap on with her boring anecdotes about the salad bar at Sizzler and working at the local frozen yogurt shop, and banging on about the fact that she's a parent. That she thinks that she speaks for millions of American families, when they're thinking, sorry, who are you to speak for us? And thus she did nothing. Nothing. Nothing has happened since. In nearly 4 years, she's done nothing whatsoever to advance the cause of parental leave. Diddly squat, nada, niente, nothing. And yet, what did the Telegraph report? The Princess of Wales, and this was reported just a couple of days ago, the Princess of Wales has inspired one of Britain's leading businesses to give new fathers 6 months of fully paid paternity leave. As a direct result of the Princess's plea to businesses to invest in early childhood, Deloitte, which is a major accountancy practice, changed its policy to give all new fathers the same parental leave offered to new mothers. The Princess has been urging business leaders to support new parents as part of her mission to transform attitudes towards early childhood. The Prince of Wales took 2 weeks of leave after the birth of George, but 6 weeks for Charlotte, as her birth coincided with the end of a block of pilot training. When Prince Louis was born, he took 2 weeks' leave, which was punctuated by 2 official engagements. Since then, the Prince and Princess have sought to prioritise their children, doing the school run and ensuring as much as possible that weekends and school holidays are spent as a family. In September, Deloitte, a member of the Royal Foundation Business Task Force on Early Childhood, announced that new fathers could have at least 6 months off work in a drive to increase the number of female partners at the firm. The Princess has been urging business leaders to support new parents as part of her mission to transform attitudes towards early childhood. Accordingly, as a consequence of this, she has inspired various members of the business task force, and, for instance, it was revealed that there was funding for more than 1,300 early years teachers to take Teach First leadership qualifications, more than 130 apprenticeships for midwives, health visitors and nursery nurses. Lego donated 3,000 emotions building sets to early years providers across the United Kingdom, while IKEA launched a product range that raised money for baby banks. Iceland has created emoji posters to help young children communicate. Sarong Khalifa, the chairman of the Royal Foundation Business Task Force for Early Childhood, expressed deep pride in its members for showing such strong leadership and rising to the challenge. So we have a range of outcomes, and the headline one being in respect of Deloitte championing 6 months paternity leave for new fathers. All of this instigated by the pleas of the Princess of Wales working within her royal foundation. In other words, not just talking about it, but actually doing something. And look what happens. Deloitte, as a direct consequence of what the Princess of Wales has been talking about, changes its policy. She has effected real change. Unlike this one's wife, who just talked about it and herself, and nothing happened. This, of course, will infuriate this one's wife yet again, because it is positive reporting about the nemesis. It also highlights, by looking back at the way that this one's wife behaved, the self-absorbed nature of her involvement with parental leave, demonstrating that it was superficial at best. It was all about a platform to make her look good and nothing to do with parental leave in itself. The typical behaviour of the narcissist, and once again, she's been trumped by Catherine. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.